Welcome to the Hollywood Scholar. I'm Jed Morgan, and Doctor Who and BBC as a whole has dipped further and further into the realm of political propaganda and the identity politics landscape as the years progress. And it seems like they're taking their next step into that, making an entire spin-off of Doctor Who marketed entirely off of the sexual identity and sexual orientation of those involved. And I have to preface this a million times, and no one ever seems to get it in the comments below. People always say, oh, you just hate trans, you hate gay people, you hate everything. No, diversity in and of itself is not a problem. It's the method and execution of it. When writers use it as an excuse to be lazy, I have a problem with it. And when the entire product is marketed off of being gay and trans, that really isn't giving you anything about the story. They're prioritizing things wrong. The story and plot should still always come first. And if diversity can be included in that in a natural, organic manner, go for it. Not a problem with it. But when you see a headline like this, does that say natural and organic inclusion? Or does it say the entire marketing off of it and the very idea behind it was, we want it to be gaysies and transies? And that was the only thought that came through the producers' heads is, ooh, those buzzwords. And that was the only thing that even came across their desk, and very well may be an excuse to be lazy, as I mentioned earlier. Because, yeah, if you're marketing it off of being gay and trans to this degree, they're very much not going to care about the plot or the quality of the story, because they can just say, oh, you're transphobic or you're homophobic if you don't like this. No, sometimes things are just shit. Doesn't matter who's in it or who's involved or whatever identity people have. Sometimes things are just shit. And that's okay. It's not a reflection on an entire group of people. If you think one person in a group is a terrible person or just made a terrible product, which a lot of people do. A lot of my favorite directors have had some duds, and they're not free of criticism just because I liked some of their other work. So yeah, it's not a reflection on gay people or trans people as a whole that this is a terrible marketing approach, and the product will probably be very terrible as a whole as well. I always have to preface this. I don't know how many times more I'm going to have to do that before people start to get that that's where I'm coming from, but, once more into the breach. But we got this article here from Pink News, and I saw it in a few other places, but this one really put it all together in a very cohesive manner. But BBC announces very gay, very trans Doctor Who spinoff series written by Juno Dawson. And, yeah, they're marketing it off of very gay, very trans. All right, what's the story about? Oh, in this entire article, from what I saw at least, they don't mention the plot, the story, or even the concept at all. They just say, it's very trans. All right, is this a spinoff of a companion? Is this a retelling of an old story? Is this set on Earth? Is this set on alien world? Is it a wartime movie? Is it a drama? Is it a romance? Doctor Who, you can do pretty much any genre inside of it. And they're just like, no, it's gaysies. All right, what else? No, they're gaysies. Wow, so you really don't give a shit what the actual story is as long as it's very, very gay and very, very trans. What the fuck is wrong with these people? So Doctor Who is launching a spin-off drama podcast penned by trans author Juno Dawson and starring trans activist Charlie Craig. And this is Charlie Craig's first role as an actor. And you're going from activist to actor. I mean, and they're basically the same thing these days. But just being an activist doesn't mean you have any talent as an actor. They're two very different professions. And so why the fuck would you just be like, ooh, I'm hiring you because you're trans? Oh, that's right. It's just because this person is trans. That's the whole reason. Oh, okay. So it doesn't matter if you have any talent or any experience in this profession? No, none whatsoever. It's just the way you identify. So being good at your job means nothing anymore. Being a good actor, some of these actors who have dedicated decades to training and learning this craft to the best of their ability, doesn't matter as long as, they don't identify in a progressive way, they're not going to get these jobs. So, yeah, I don't support just random people getting jobs because of the way they identify or the fact that they're activists. That is insane. And it's going to be probably a rather awful product because a bad actor is just a bad actor. I'm not a great actor, so I wouldn't want just some random person to say, you know what, ginger, we need more ginger. So your cast is like, but I'm not very good. We don't care. The color of your hair is what matters. All right, and then the product turns out like shit. It's the same thing. Doctor Who Redacted is a 10-part series set to premiere on BBC Sounds on April 17th, which promises to deliver action-packed adventures that have been left from the sci-fi TV series. What do you mean have been left? I'm guessing that's like left out, not like left politics, but like you. It's like, ooh, in 60 years we didn't mention have that many trans characters, so they've been left out. That's probably what they They mean listeners will be introduced to a range of characters, including Cleo Proctor, who will be voiced by trans activist and author Charlie Craigs in her first acting role. So yeah, first acting role, activist beforehand. Yeah, not necessarily a, upfront and obvious career transition. At least in normal times. Nowadays, it's completely normal. Craig said, "There are no words to express how huge it is and how grateful I am. Being a trans actor, this person is even marketing it off of the fact that they're trans is why they're happy that they're getting the job. You just say, hey, I'm happy to have the job. No one will blame you for that. It's just like, hey, this is an incredible opportunity. I love Doctor Who. I love this universe. I'm so glad to be a part of it. But no, it has nothing to do with Doctor Who or the universe. It's just like, no, I'm trans. So I'm so glad that I can be trans in front of people. And trans is the most important thing. No, there's more important things. Your sexual identity and your sexual preferences are aspects of your character. They're individual attributes. They're not in your entire character. And that's what a lot of these writers don't understand in modern days. It's like, oh, this one's the gay one. All right, what do they care about? What are their motivations? Stuff like that. Stuff that makes, a three-dimensional character. No, they're the gay one. That's an attribute. That's a single attribute. That's like making a new character that's like, I like bread. Okay, does that affect the story at all? No, this person just likes bread. It could involve the story in minor ways, but it's just an individual attribute. It is not something that makes up an entire character's identity. No person is wholly their sexual identity. People are so much more than that. There's a breadth of beauty and wisdom in every single human being that if we just whittle it down to any single attribute, they're meaningless two-dimensional cardboard cutouts that are not enjoyable to watch on screen. So they're coming at it from an acting perspective of being like, I'm trans. So they're making their own identity that one single thing and the only reason why they're involved. And so their character will reflect that. And that's going to make for a shit product, is if a single attribute makes up the whole concept behind both the acting and the writing. So yeah, I'm not looking forward to this. Playing the lead role in something so special, but more so how significant the fact that my character is trans, and the character is trans in the lead role too. So yeah, they're marketing off of this. The actors involved are marketing it off of this. It is the whole idea behind it. I doubt they even have a story idea. They're just like, ooh, we need a bunch of transies and some gazies, and we'll figure out the story later. The story doesn't matter. We just need to have as many checkbox checked as we can. And I do have to mention that there was some initial concern that the BBC was able to do this, and would that spell a certain direction for the franchise going forward? It seems like the television rights are at Bad Wolf right now, which is owned by Sony, so the TV show may still get better, but the BBC still has rights to like the audio dramas and the spin-offs and stuff like that. So it doesn't necessarily mean the show's still going to be in this political direction that it has been the last few years. It may still course correct. This isn't necessarily assigned one way or the other. So I was a little concerned about that myself before I read a little bit more in detail about that. This is a huge step for the trans community. I'm so honored to be part of this. So yeah, keep going in that direction. They're still going in that direction. The audio drama promises to explore the relationship between ordinary people unknowingly immersed in the Doctor Who universe. That's actually a cool idea. Okay, so they do have a partial idea of it, but it's still very simple, and it's, yeah, the producer said it's going to be very gay and very trans. So yeah, this was probably just like, ooh, people who the Doctor was transphobic against is probably what the idea is going to be. And so other characters, so yeah, it's going to be Jodie Whittaker's Doctor is going to be involved, and then a bunch of other people like that. And we're getting close to the end of Jodie Whittaker's run. She's already filmed her final episode, and I think that episode is going to be the highest watched of her entire run on the show, just to have people just want to watch her die. That's what I'm going to be watching. And so, yeah, it looks like there's going to be a few more details about it here. But that pretty much covers it. Yeah, it's all about very, very gay, very, very trans. And coming at it from that perspective devalues the idea of gay and trans, because a lot of people who, are on the fence or willing to support these causes are like, oh, God, it's going to be just political propaganda. Why should I watch? And that attitude would be the same if it was in the exact opposite direction. Like, I would have the same reaction if randomly the BBC's like, you know what, we're going to make this isn't an opposite, but another example, we're going to make the Doctor very, very Christian, and it's going to be like a Christian movie. And whether or not you agree with transgenderism or Christianity or any other, they're not opposites, they're just multiple things. getting preachy can get very annoying. Just like Christian films, most people, even Christians, think they're terribly made movies because of how preachy they get. That's what wokeness has done to modern entertainment. Is they're not subtle anymore. It's not using allegory. It's not using metaphors. It is beat your head over with the message, just like Christian films have done for so many years, and that's why they're not successful films. So I would have the same eye-rolling reaction to any sort of ideology, religion, or anything else that was taken over a franchise in which it was not made to be a part of, and just weaponizing it for their own propaganda. And I'm not okay with that in any sort of direction. So before you come at me and say it's just because of this, no, it's just the most common thing that happens is stuff like this. Any other example, I would have the same opinion on. So I'm not looking forward to this. I haven't been listening to a lot of the recent audio dramas because some of them have dipped quite heavily into the political propaganda landscape, but there's still plenty of old Big Finish audio dramas and old stuff like that that are very much worth diving into for any fans who still want good new Doctor Who, but aren't getting it from the BBC at this time. Might need to revisit some of the old stuff for now. But anyway, that's all I have for today. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Anon. If you like what I do here and want to see good, compelling stories that Hollywood will no longer give you, check out my book series, Odyssey of a Phoenix, a mythological epic about philosophy, morality, and modern-day mental illness issues. Books 1, Down in Flames, and Book 2, Apocalypse Then, currently on sale. Book 3, Kill the Dark, coming soon.